Danelo Cavalcante, 12 days on the run. So let's take you now to Kennett Square. I believe I'm saying that right. It's in Pennsylvania, 40 miles outside of Philadelphia. Officials there are providing an update on the manhunt for this escaped inmate convicted of murder and sentenced to life in prison. He's not in prison now. Let's listen in.
If you choose to assist us, you could be eligible for some or all of the reward that has been offered for Cavalcante's capture. As a matter of fact, I'm announcing today that Chester County has increased the amount of reward they are offering by another $5,000. That brings the total reward offered up to $25,000 for information that leads to the capture of Cavalcante. We remain concerned that Cavalcante will attempt to steal another vehicle to facilitate his escape. As a reminder, we ask for the public's help by familiarizing themselves with the updated photographs and description of Cavalcante, to check security cameras they have, and to call us immediately if they believe they may have seen him. Again, we ask residents to please secure homes, outbuildings, and vehicles. It is imperative that anyone with information about Cavalcante contact us immediately so that we may act on that information in a timely manner. Anyone with information is asked to call our tip line at 717-562-2987. 717-562-2987. I know this is an extremely stressful time for the community. We are doing everything possible to bring this to a successful resolution as quickly as possible. I and all of us working on this every day appreciate all of the support that all of you have given. Thank you very much for that support. And at this time, we will be happy to take any questions you might have.
Do you have evidence that someone has tried to help him, or is that why you've arrested the sister?
The sister is an overstay, and she chose not to assist. And because of being in an overstay status, she has been entered into a deportation proceeding and is being detained at this time.
She chose not to assist. You wanted her to help you, she did not.
She has not assisted.
Do you have any evidence of anybody else who's tried to help him? And you just put a warning out there. You have people who you know of who did try to help him.
I'm cautioning people preemptively, and yes, we are monitoring. We are monitoring for any possible help in a variety of ways. And so, what I would tell you is that if we detect assistance, that will be prosecuted. I'm not going to say anything further than that in terms of who may or may not have. What I'm going to say is, as a warning, you will be prosecuted. There is an alternative path to try and assist with his safe capture.
I want to touch base on the timeline here, please, to make sure that we're correct. So he shows up at these homes 10:30, you think, Saturday night, but yet people in the neighborhood say police weren't making checks until well after 2 o'clock in the morning. Was there any kind of delay here? The people at the church tell us that people didn't start looking around the church until 3 a.m.
We weren't notified until well after midnight of the sightings.
So 2 hours after he shows up at this house and had a conversation with
At least 2 hours.
Well, there is 911 with that call from that family on the Ring doorbell camera. Were there any issues? Can you walk us through? Can you actually just walk us through that entire sequence?
I'm not aware of any issues with the 911 system, and I'm not going to comment further. What I'm going to tell you, I've already laid out what the timeline was, and what I would tell you is that the individuals, for example, the one was not home at the time. They were utilizing a doorbell to speak with him. They arrived home sometime later, reviewed the video, and contacted local police. Whatever occurred there, we were not a part of it. We received the notice, and I gave you the time yesterday. I don't have it in front of me, but it was sometime around 12:30, as I recall, so after midnight when we received the notice, and our investigators then began working on that information.
These are the only 2 places that you believe he was, because we have neighbors in another Phoenixville neighborhood telling us that there's heavy police presence, that he was knocking on doors and that.
Those were the only 2 that we have reports that he communicated with anyone.
Lieutenant Colonel, at this point, have there been any other visual confirmed sightings since this doorbell photo was released?
There have not.
Do you have any reason to believe that he's just vanished without a trace? Do you still believe he's within Pennsylvania?
Well, of course he hasn't vanished without a trace, and for a variety of reasons, yes, I do believe that he is in Pennsylvania.
How many
That total right now is still probably hovering around the 300 mark. And yes, we have brought in additional resources, so we're switching some out. I described yesterday that today, as a matter of fact, we had planned a major push, and so there were a lot more uniform resources. There were tactical teams, a very large number of tactical teams, and a lot of other assets that would have been utilized. We have instead replaced some of those resources, certainly not all, with other investigative resources, because, as I told you, the investigation has shifted. And so not only the state police, but our federal partners as well have brought in additional resources that we believe will be useful going forward. We collectively conduct fugitive investigations every day of the year. And so this one is at a little different scale, but it's the type of investigation each of our agencies works on a very regular basis, and we're now adjusting with the resources we believe we need.
Why weren't there assets at these acquaintances' homes before he made this appearance, and are you doing that moving forward in this investigation?
Well, when you say acquaintances' homes, what I would tell you is that these people had not, to my knowledge, had any contact with Cavalcante for years. So they were not friends, they were prior work associates, for example, and they were not people that we would have expected or that we would have known even to contact, again, from the distant past.
Sir, any thoughts on raising the reward to $50,000 or $100,000 to help bring him to justice sooner rather than later?
Well, no, again, right now we're announcing that the reward is at $25,000. I do believe that's a lot of money. I'm hard-pressed to believe that someone is sitting out there with information saying $25,000 is not enough. I suppose we'll consider things as we go forward, whether that will increase or not. But for right now, that seems to be a pretty reasonable amount, I think.
So with the reward, with no defined area to search, are you 100% reliant on public tips in order to find it?
No.
There's been a lot of reports or rumors, I should say, that Cavalcante's sister previously was seen near the search perimeter in U-Haul or some other type of vehicle. Is there any credence to that led to her arrest?
No, I've heard those reports. Her arrest was, again, because she is an overstay. That was a process that would play out for anyone in her same circumstance. And what I would say is she has failed to cooperate, and so there was no value in law enforcement keeping her here at this point.
Through the communications with the sister and acquaintances, what do you know about the resources he may have, cell phone, money, food? What is he asking these people? And can you kind of divulge what kind of intelligence you gathered in terms of what...
No, I don't want to talk specifically about what I think he may or may not have or what he's looking for. Those are all pieces of our investigation. But I think it's, again, fair to say what I've said all along, and that is he needs additional help, he needs resources for the long run, and he is seeking those.
Sir, have you expanded the search to Berks County at all?
We have...
You have been listening there to officials give an update on the manhunt in Pennsylvania. It's a manhunt for escaped convicted killer Danelo Cavalcante, who was supposed to be transferred to life imprisonment but escaped the holding facility where he was. His sister has been detained, and officials are expanding the search area, detained, and there are deportation proceedings against that sister, according to what we just heard there. Before the sound broke up. Officials are also saying that anyone, this is just a general warning, assisting him will be prosecuted.
Police are urging people to check their security cameras and contact officials immediately if they see him. This as sightings continue to be reported. Chester County has increased the reward for him to $25,000.